Good afternoon. We're on the record in case number D08402438C, Stroh versus Lavin. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shay Backus, bar number 8361, appearing today on behalf of Athea Lavin, who I believe is also appearing virtually with us today.
Okay.
Or did they grab her in? Oh, there she is.
There she is. And Mr. Stroh, are you still unrepresented?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay. How is the reunification going?
Well, we've had some difficulties here, Your Honor. This is a status hearing, and here's the status. The mom constantly gaslights me. She makes her own rules for the visitation, who can pick him up and take him, and where we were spending our time. She said this order was flexible. I had to call Metro on the 29th of January to have my visitation, and that incident was filed under number 210-100-31210. And I just haven't been able to pick up my son or take him anywhere without her making the rules of where she's going to, who's taking him where. She's making the rules for her to drop him off and take him.
Ms. Backus, what do you say about that?
Well,
Your Honor, I'm happy to address these issues. As we stood in the court the last time, the court was very clear with its orders that you wanted at least 4 dinner visits before this return hearing. I'm happy to report the 4 visits went forward. Mom did everything she could do to encourage Caden to go on these visits. What Mr. Stroh is referring to is when the court made the visits public. If you recall in the FMC interview, one of Caden's biggest concerns was driving with his dad in light of like drinking issues, anger issues. And so the court made the visits a dinner visit in public, also made reunification therapy so that mom could drive. So mom was providing transportation to and from these visits, which kind of worked out for Caden. And the one thing that I wanted to really stress on was the 129 visit. What had happened about this flexibility is Caden had asked his dad, he reached out and said, hey, this week, can we do lunch? And Dad wrote back, okay, or something like that. And so Thea and Caden were under the impression it was going to be a lunch visit on a Saturday, which it's kind of hard when you're doing a public visit. It's better to do something where if you that there's a lot to go on. And so Caden, I know, had also been trying to plan some visits that did go a little better. Was a Red Rock. They went and played bowling. They ate dinner to really fill that time, as opposed to just sitting in a car or things like that where Caden feels most vulnerable. So that was what it was. So I'm happy to report to Your Honor that the visits did go forward as the court had requested. My request was going to be to absolutely allow some flexibility because one week Tony reached out to Caden and said, you know, do you want to go to dinner for your brother's birthday? It was a different night. And when Caden was like, I'll do that instead of Friday, Dad pushed back and was like, no, it's about Friday. And so we were asking for some flexibility. I think Caden feels most comfortable with Mom transporting him to and from those visits. And then the other thing is, and Mom's not trying to interfere. I mean, she's done everything she could do to make sure this is going on. The other thing is the therapy is quite odd, Your Honor. This reunification therapy has happened, I think, also 4 times. It was not with Dr. Gray, which had been previously reported to do reunification therapy. It's with a social worker named Matthew Marks. And it almost seems like he's treating Dad, and then this reunification therapy is the side. One visit, he pulled Mom in for the whole visit and started asking her stuff that pertained to her and Dad, which was completely inappropriate to be discussing in front of a minor. So Mom did not elaborate because, honestly, some of the stuff that pertains to Tony and Athea's past relationship doesn't need to be aired out in front of a 12-year-old. The last visit with the therapist was quite odd, Your Honor, that I wanted to kind of raise during the
this is all hearsay, Your
Hold
Honor.
on. Don't interrupt her, Mr. Stroh.
During the therapy session. And also the first one started off where Caden kind of felt like or during these times that the therapy is about teaching him what his dad has been doing is like, okay. So just almost Caden's like back blaming himself and questioning his self-worth. And at the last visit, with therapy, the therapist kind of mocked Caden, like, your dad's doing everything he can do, you know, but the therapist is not talking to Caden alone. The therapist hasn't reached out to Caden's therapist. Caden actually gave his therapist permission to talk to Mr. Matthews because the whole goal is to work on their relationship. It's been really bizarre with this guy. And Tony continues to do two things. One thing that why Caden's self-worth has issues is he always mentions, like, he's just, Caden, forget it, whatever, we're done. And he said that as Caden walked out, because Caden walked out, Your Honor, the last therapy. So we had 3.5 therapy appointments, actually, because Caden walked out. And his dad, when he walked out, said, good luck with your life. And then, of course, Mom made sure the visitation went forward on Friday. She texted Dad still and said, where am I dropping him off? You know, I mean, so I think to help this relationship, it needs to either therapist needs to talk to Caden and get to the issues, because Caden just shuts down again. And that's what had happened previously until we hit the pinnacle last year, where the physical violence went towards him.
Mr. Stroh, what do you have to say about that? Because, you know...
That is all a complete lie, because when we're in the therapy sessions and when we're at dinner time, we are speaking for 3 hours straight, me and Caden both talking, 3 hours straight on dinner time. This therapy sessions, we are all included in it. Yes, Matt pulled in at what was going on because Caden here, he says he doesn't want me to be drinking. I'm not drinking. So he wanted to find out what else is the problem here. Thea has 17 other problems she wants to blame me for.
Well,
but she can't come up with anything
else. Althea, sir, here's what I see there. This is reunification between you and your son, not Althea. Okay? What are the problems your son has? Because if your son's parenting what Mom has, and I'm going to want to know about that. So why don't we try a little bit different view, Dad? Since all this stuff is being said, I want you to record the sessions.
I've got the recording with him going when we went to dinner last time for 30 minutes.
No, not your visits, the sessions, the reunification. You know, they're saying it's going a little weird. We're going to give it a couple of sessions here. Okay? Go ahead and, record them because I want to see what's going on.
I mean, I still have parental rights, Your Honor. I'm not getting to see my son. It's been a year now.
Sir, we have to make your son comfortable.
He's comfortable until his mom starts talking about stuff.
Now,
to him.
Here is something else that we're going to do. Dad, you're going to pick the child up for your dinners. Okay? And we're going to do 1 week we're going to have one dinner. The next week we're going to have 2 dinners. Then we're going to go 1 dinner and then 2 dinners. Okay? That second one can be a lunch because it may be easier on the son. Dad, you will pick up, but Mom, you get to pick up after the dinner. So that way you'll know where they went. So, Mr. Stroh, you'll need to call her and let her know, okay, come on and pick him up. This is where we are.
Absolutely.
If Mom suspects that you were drinking, she can require a breathalyzer or something. But she better be sure that you were drinking, because when that comes back and it's negative, then,
Yes, Your Honor. We had a quantifiable thing here where we're going to set up a breathalyzer beforehand. That was Caden's primary reason he didn't want to drive with me. Right. I ordered a breathalyzer to show him that, hey, you're worried about me driving drunk or something, or me having alcohol? Then that became another problem. There was something else compounding after that his mom's putting in there.
Well,
so we had
you've got the breathalyzer, so carry that with you. Okay, make sure that make sure it's done that way. You can show Mom. You can breathe it every time. You can breathe into it to show Mom and son you're not drunk, that you haven't been drinking.
But this is a thing. I mean, I haven't done anything. This is where
we're going to work. I know. We're going to work into it, sir. We're working into it. I'm going to give this now his name is Mr. Marks, right?
Yes, Matthew Marks.
What's his background?
He is a clinical psychiatric. I'll give you the whole thing. He's got his master's degree. He works under Dr. Brown. As Shay knows, I told her the same day when we got out of court last time that Dr. Gray would not be available. So he works under Dr. Brown at Neubauer Mental Health.
Okay.
He's worked with kids and adults his whole career.
All right.
So I'm not sure why they're acting like it's something weird, but he has a very good record with kids and adults.
Well, what we're doing here is we're going to work this into a point to where your son is comfortable with coming back over and spending the night with you.
Well, this is the thing. On last Friday night, I had asked Caden to stay the night. He came home with me. His mother called my girlfriend's mom, and started a whole bunch of mess, saying that Tony took Caden to the house. And do you know Tony was living there? Caden told his mother that I said that the older brother was going to be there, but it was me and his little brother there. So there's a whole bunch of crap going on here that is just being stirred up. The pot is being stirred left and right on that son.
Okay. All right. Well, if Caden decides he wants to come and stay at Dad's house for a day or two, we're going to let him do that.
Well, he said he wanted to, and that's where it ended up.
You know, it's we're going to let him go, Mom. If you get a phone call that he's going to Dad's house and he's going to spend the night, you're not to call him. You're not to call anybody and interfere with it. Yes, Shay. Or Miss Backus, sorry.
No, that's fine, Your Honor. I know we have a lot of people changing roles in our profession right now. But, Your Honor, with respect to that, Miss Lavin and I did talk after this is two things I wanted to let Your Honor know also is Family Wizard has also been re-implemented because of the cops coming over and making sure. And then the other weird thing, and I don't know how Your Honor feels about this, but I think it's working for them right now, is because of the misunderstanding at the last the January 29th dinner visit, the therapist suggested that Caden and Dad's text message going on is that Thea be added to that so that there was no miscommunication between Caden and Dad as to visitation. The thing with the girlfriend, which I didn't know was still a current girlfriend, I thought it was an ex-girlfriend, Thea has the relationship with Mr. Stroh's little child's mom and her mother. Her mother was in the hospital. She had called her before she walked out of the house and Thea's like, I got to go, and then called her back when she was killing time during the dinner visit and mentioned that Caden reached out. It wasn't that Caden reached out to Mom saying, I want to go spend the night. He reached out saying Dad asked him to spend the night. It was more of that.
Dad has a right to ask him. He has a right to ask him if he wants to come and spend the night. I mean, it's just come and say, hey, look, you're more than welcome to come to my home. I would love for you to come to my home. There's nothing wrong with that. And if she's trying to hold that against him, that's not good. She needs to be encouraging him. She needs to be encouraging this boy to spend as much time with his dad as possible.
Well, I'd like to say
And one of the big things for encouraging, and I will tell you, Thea went to Caden's therapist with Caden, and Caden gave his therapist permission to talk to Mr. Marks. Like, the goal is to heal this relationship. I mean,
yes,
Thea's going to do whatever she can do, because Caden's two things is he just wants his dad to be sober and a good person. Okay. And I think he's stressed, I think Tony can agree with me on this, is he just wants a normal relationship with his dad.
Okay. Absolutely. It's what he said on the video last weekend. And
good. Then we're getting somewhere. Patience. Patience is what it's going to take at this point, and I think we're going to get there. Okay? So why don't we set this? Why don't we set this out here in 2 months? I would like something, if at all possible. Not necessarily going into things that your son has said and everything, but if his therapist would be willing to write me a report, I would keep it, left side file. I wouldn't give it out to anybody. I would like to know how he actually feels about this. And his therapist would be the person that would most be able to tell me without going into any confidential communications or anything, just a very general, and then if he has any insight on what we can do to help make it easier to get this reunification and keep it going.
And it is, and it was nice because, honestly, some of the things Your Honor put in place, the therapist had suggested was the transportation or do something in public, things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can get that taken care of for Your Honor.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, Shay,
go ahead, Mr. Stroh.
When we left the court last time, Shay, we exchanged numerous emails that same day, saying that she still hasn't furnished the order to me from the 29th, but we agreed on Thea would take him the first time, then I would pick him on taking him the rest of the times, just because Thea needed to feel comfortable. Now, this is the problem here. We're bending over backwards to make sure Mom's getting her her point and done, but Dad's still sitting over here being neglected for his child's rights. I can't see my son unless it's on Mom's terms. That's how we're working it.
Okay,
and
this
it's
isn't
not right.
Mom's terms, sir. You need to start looking at it. It's my terms. Okay, it's the court's terms.
I understand. Well, Your Honor, I agree with that. But when Mom starts to take away what your order was, then that's when I have to stand up and say something about it. Because when she's modifying your order, that doesn't work for me either.
Well, we're modifying it and we're working with it. Everything is supposed to be in writing. And sir, when Mom does start coming and coming in and doing things like that, you can record it so that you have something that actually shows that she may be interfering. Okay?
It's all on Family Wizard now.
Yeah, it's all on Family Wizard. So, we will keep this going in the right direction. And that's what we need to do. And it's for your son. I have added one more day a week in there, or every other week in there. So that's going to start making him feel even more comfortable. With you not drinking, he's going to see you're not drinking. There's nothing wrong with Dad reaching out and saying, hey, I'm free tonight, Mom. Does Caden want to go to dinner or go see a movie with me or just go to the park? Reach out. And if Caden wants to, let him go.
Can I interject one more time, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Even though when we do that, Caden will say yes, but then all of a sudden it turns to text and then somebody else is texting because I see what he texts normally, and then when he writes some other text saying, no, I don't want to do this, and comes up with a 70-page text to me, it's not him writing these texts. His mom is interfering quite a bit in this, so I would like to make sure that we have a voice.
If this winds up going to a trial, and it does appear that an adult and not a 12-year-old is writing those texts, I'll change custody.
I've included those in
because
my
I'm not going to tolerate one parent interfering with the other parent's parental rights. As long as we're working together, that's fantastic. But if he's able to prove that, Mom, you're interfering with his relationship, I'll take Caden from you and give him to Dad and put you on supervised visits.
He can't prove that because it's not happening.
Well, I'm just wanting to make sure you understand that, and I hope not.
No,
I do take these possibilities very seriously. Mr. Stroh, and I am hearing what you're saying, but right now let's make sure your relationship with your son is fixed. Okay?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
All right. Let's come back in 60 days so we can see where we're at, and hopefully we can start implementing definite overnight visits.
We'll return to court on May 4th, 2021 at 2 p.m.
Ms. Backus, will you prepare the order?
Yes, I will, Your Honor. I think the last time no one was ordered to prepare an order, so that's why I didn't prepare an order. But I can prepare an order.
Can you get me both of those orders, please?
Oh, okay.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.